Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, namaskar, dosto. Sorry, I was speaking, but broadcast was not on, so I'm not sure whether you heard me or not. So, are you guys able to hear me? Can you please confirm you're able to hear me? All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate your confirmation. Hi, very good evening. So this has been an absolutely cracker week, unbelievable. One of those weeks it's where it's so difficult. It's so difficult to make money from this market. So people who are new in the market, you must be witnessing this crazy movements in the market. So this market is only possible for for people with very high experience. So for all of you, most of you who are not with experience, this is not the great market to trade. I think I've been speaking about this in YouTube channel, and I've been speaking about this in my Twitter handle also, that it's a sell on rise market. So every time market goes up, principally because the dollar index still remains up and tight, and yield curve is kind of staying there. It clearly looks like that market is still in a weak tone. So it's a sell on rise market, and the volatility is not conducive for a momentum trading. So I'm away from the market, as I've already told you a couple of times, that because dollar index is behaving the way it is right now. So let me just show you the chart. Okay, so this is the dollar index, and you guys have been seeing this that dollar index is up, and it is around 104.77, which is very scary. It's all and the U.S. bond curve, at least the respite is that the U.S. yield curve has kind of started cooling down, or maybe it has started consolidating at a higher range of the market. So this is the only respite for us in the market. But overall, dollar index, until as dollar index goes down, I would say that I'm not going to build my aggressive long position in the market. Okay. As a momentum trader, I've already exited a lot of my positions. Whatever position I have remaining, it's largely the strong stocks. And as those strong stocks are becoming weak stocks, I'm exiting those positions as well. Okay. Uh, what I'm doing right now is to figure out the immediate short-term trend change in the market. I'm looking at 15 minutes chart because I want to be the earlier ones to identify the trend change if there is any in the market. So Nifty 15 minutes chart, Bank Nifty 15 minutes chart, mid cap chart, and small cap chart. So I'm closely monitoring them. I'm not trading them right now. I'm closely monitoring them, and if I see a sustenance in this 15 minutes chart, and also some kind of a trend change in a 2 hourly chart, then only I will try to venture and get into buying zone in the market. Also, the 200-day moving average. So my thought process of 200-day moving average still remains where it is. That market is below 200-day moving average of 16,850. So this is the 200-day moving average. If market is below 200-day moving average, I'm not going to build any momentum buying position in the market. So the conclusion from my side is that it's a sell on rise market right now. I am not building new positions. I'm exiting my positions wherever I see momentum is going down further. The stock is becoming negative, and that is pretty much what I'm doing. Always remember that you, as a market participant, you can't be in the market all the time, and this probably is not one of those great markets to trade. Even if you want to trade, take small profits and a small stop loss, but at the end of the month, it will be difficult to make money in cash market right now. But yes, derivative traders, if you have higher risk appetite, you can still make money from the market, but the risk reward ratio of making money in the market is not as conducive as it was a couple of months ago. And I think this year is going to be like this, because if dollar index doesn't go down, if interest rates doesn't give a cooler, if inflation doesn't go down, I think overall, until unless the war between Ukraine and Russia. If that doesn't stop, I think overall inflation is not going to go down. And if inflation is up, I think market is not going to give us great opportunities to buy. Sell, yes. And if you know how to sell, you can definitely sell and make money from the market. Take an example of the trade today. Market went up, but then the new sellers emerged and market went down again. So this will keep on happening in the market. It will go up, give an indication of recovery, but boom, there'll be someone who will come and sell the market. So it's not one of those market where you would like to buy when the momentum is picking up in the market. All right, so this is it from my side. No stock specific discussion right now, because there's no point in discussing stocks and identifying stocks, because until unless market goes above 16,850, I'm definitely not interested in buying any stock at the moment, because risk reward ratio for me is not favorable. Souradeep, are you there?
I said I am here.
Fantastic.
Can
So
you
take it
hear
over
me?
from me. I don't have much to add from here on. Take it over from me. And I think after Souradeep today, we are going to have Abhijit sir also, right? Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Avijit sir will be there after.
Fantastic.
I'm
So
very,
take it over from me.
I am feeling wonderful today that I am getting opportunity to speak between two very popular and very wonderful speaker. So I am kind of excited today.
All right. So kind of you. Thank you. So take it over from me, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, so hi everybody, and thanks Vivek sir. And today I will give a brief about the market. Market has been a little bit down. Can you, but before going into this, can you please confirm that if you can hear me? You can hear me. Hi, this is Souradeep. Yes, thanks. Thank everybody. So, market has been what it has been, right? As you can see, this is now the Bajaj Finance I want to show you. Like Nifty, if I look at breaking down, still yet to close below this low that was formed during before UP election. It is yet to break below that low, but quite pretty weak. Uh, Before going into this, let us understand a little bit about the market. Uh, a little bit about the macros, okay? Because see, charts are there, but today what is happening in the market is driven by macro. So I will show you few of the posts that I have done in the StockEdge club. Okay. Now, if I go to the commodity and currency club, especially, let us look at the posts that I have been making. So you can see that the recent posts like Brazil CPI 2 days back that I posted was 12.13, which is quite high, okay, which is high since 2004. German CPI, as you can see, this figure highest in 40 years, okay. So this is the German CPI. Just a second. As you can see, uh, this is the CPI 7.4 is quite high. Okay, so after German CPI and US CPI, I talked about the Brazil CPI. The Brazil CPI is highest since 2004. So you can understand the kind of inflation we are having globally. Okay. Now look at that post that I posted today. Is See, this is the OPEC oil monthly report. In the last session, I discussed how oil is going to be in a different trajectory now on. Now see, you can see how low presently the stocks are. Okay, global stocks in the developed market, the commercial oil stocks are so low. So you can understand this may actually result into very sharp price rise going forward. And not only that, what Joe Biden is right now planning, more oil, you can find this article in USA, more oil from strategic petroleum reserve heads to Europe, so that Europe don't have to buy from Russia. Now, Russia every day produce 7.8 million barrel oil, trying to compensate that from the strategic reserve. So what will happen to this reserve? Tell me. These are mainly European, Japanese, and American reserves. So these reserves will go down, isn't it? These reserves will go down. And what happens when there is a kind of a risk that the that if the stock is low, what happens to the commodity price? If wheat is less available into the market, if potato is less, potato stocks go, price will rise. So you can understand that there is uh, very prominent risk of oil price even rising 30, 40, 50, 60% from here. Okay. Now, one more thing, you can see why Biden is giving oil from reserve is this. See, uh, this was 11.7 that they were producing, USA were producing at the start of the year, right? At the start of the year, they were producing. The war started in the first week of March. Now see, from 11.7 to 11.8, so 0.1 million barrel only, they are they have been able to increase their production, and they are talking about sometimes they produce 11.9, maximum 0.2 million barrel, but they are talking about replacing 7.8 million barrels that is exported by Russia. Tell me, do you think it is possible? It is possible. I don't think it is a possible scenario. They may give some oil from their strategic reserve to the Europe, but ultimately that what is going to happen is that the oil prices may go through the roofs. Okay. Now, a few more charts. This is StockEdge social platform. Okay. So all those the club members can know. Now, I will also like to show you one important chart. Okay. Now, yesterday, based on the weather assessment of this year, there sir, what if Iran oil sanction are removed in meanwhile? That is not removed yet, so we will see if that is removed. Okay, even if sanction is removed from Iran, Iran can maximum export 2 million barrel per day. But that is out of that 1 million barrel per day, 1 million barrel they own, they need on their own. Okay, so Iran won't be able to fill up the gap. Now this is yesterday's number, yesterday's report. What US has done based on the study of this year, they have reported that the wheat production is going to be very low, and and wheat production is going to be very low, and see how low are the present wheat prices. I will also like to show you one important thing. See world map, world map image. If I go to this world map image, just a second. So if I want to show you this image, I'll little bit expand it, this image. See, look at this. This is Ukraine. Now, one side is Europe, one another on the other side is Russia. Okay. And this small area, this small area, this small area is called the Black Sea. Now, what Russia is aiming is trying to take control of this eastern and southern part of Ukraine. What will happen that Ukraine will lose contact to this Black Sea, this water area. Now, what they do is that Ukraine is a major producer of Ukraine is a major producer of wheat. Now, if Black Sea is blocked at this side Russia, then whatever wheat they send to initially to Turkey or Azerbaijan to Georgia, from there it goes to entire Asia and entire Africa. Now, if this part is blocked, then Ukraine won't be able to send its wheat anywhere except the Europe. You understand this thing? So this wheat will become a very big issue, and wheat is the staple food in among a lot of people, and that's why I will like to show you what happened to the wheat price. This is the monthly chart. See, it is near lifetime high. Not only that, if you see 1 day chart, see yesterday it had this kind of a move, and wheat prices are supposed to go higher, right? We will come back to this. I will just try to finish that what I have posted in this. So I have posted, and last thing, the Forex Reserve. See, since the war started, our Forex reserves has come down from 631 billion to 696. So 35 billion loss in 10 weeks, which is pretty sharp. If the war lasts for 6 months, Indian Forex Reserve can go down to $500 billion, which is still not a worry, but this is a macro worry that our Forex Reserve is coming down. Okay. Now, please let us look at the global commodity basket as we do in every session. Okay. As I said, that the fear of recession is looming all around the world. And one more thing that I want to show you. Okay. This before going into this, I'm going to Twitter, and I have posted one thing. Just wanted to show it. Uh, See, this is Fed Powell. What is he saying? Powell says he cannot guarantee a soft landing. What is soft landing? Because Fed is raising interest rate, so there is shock to the economy, and due to this higher interest rate and less liquidity, the economy can actually contract, which it has done in the first quarter. Provisional GDP was minus 1.4%. So US economy contracted on first quarter provisionally, and he says that he cannot guarantee a soft landing because inflation is very high. Now let us understand. See, these inflations has started coming down. Okay, these inflation, like as I told in the last week only, nickel, you can see still it is quite high, but still it has started coming down. Nickel has started coming down, still quite high, but coming down because there are signs of recession everywhere. The lead future, the iron ore future has coming down. But due to Ukraine getting blocked, what is happening is that all these agri commodities are not at all falling. They are very bullish. This is wheat, this is corn, because if wheat is stopped, corn will be an alternative. It is near lifetime high, soybean near lifetime high, sugar near lifetime high, cotton near lifetime high, and India has 140 crore hungry uh, mouse. This is oil from there edible oil is produced. So if the inflation is so much high, and India also reported very high inflation. Okay, so I will go here. I posted this. See, India also reported very high inflation. This is the highest in uh, uh, this is USA. Okay, just a second. Let me find it out. Where did I post? So going to my post. Uh, yes. So in India also the inflation is highest among 2000 highest since 2014. So, since Narendra Modi took over as a as a prime minister. Before that, inflation used to be quite high, 10-12%. But during his era, and especially after 2020, because of COVID, and even for that, price was almost never a problem. Inflation was never a problem. But now inflation is inching above 8%, which is very high. And it came much higher than what was estimated. So 7.79, which is quite high. You can understand. Now, so everywhere there is inflation, and if the food prices, the cotton prices goes up, what will happen to the economy? Because see, only 2-3% people in India pay taxes. So 90% people don't have much money. So if all the money goes for food and clothes, what will happen to the other consumption, the cars and other things, the steel consumption, the TV consumption, the data consumption, everything will actually falter, right? So you will understand everything will falter if people starts, if everything will start going up, everything start going up, isn't it? Hello, I'm looking for your answers. So don't you feel that if the agricultural commodity prices go up, it will be a very difficult scenario for people all across. That will be a real problem. So all this inflation, which is caused by supply disruption due to the war that is happening, you can understand that we are in a very tough situation. And among this tough situation, like this is almost fate directly saying that even if there is a recession, please don't blame me, because there is a war going on. So if there is a recession, how is market likely to do? Now let us see what global market have been doing. Okay, this is the relative performance of indices since March start, and you can see that the worst performing is the Nasdaq. In 10 days, it has 10-12 days, it has fallen 11%. Then Nifty, Bank Nifty 8%, and Dow Jones 6.4%. So Dow Jones, because it is yet to close today, we will know. So these are worst performing markets. Okay. Compared to that, the DAX and UK and all these things, Nikkei, all are still doing better. Why? Because ECB and Bank of Japan, not sorry, yes, ECB and Bank of Japan have not started hiking of interest rate. So ECB and Bank of Japan are still maintaining easy monetary policy. Now, in that scenario, because their market, the regulator is not that much stringent, their market are still buoyant, but Indian market, US markets are falling like anything. And you have to understand this inflation, this what is happening right now is stagflation. Stagflation. Okay, this is stagflation. Okay, what is happening right now is stagflation. Okay, stagflation looms in UK as economic growth grinds to halt. Not only in UK, it is almost everywhere stagflation. So what is stagflation? Now, what we know as inflation or as a recession is that at the time when market, and I have now these have started coming into, and I have given this as on 5th I have posted this 7-8 days back, that this ongoing recession will be the longest in decades to come and in few decades gone by. Means in our lifetime this may be the worst recession that we'll face, and this will be known as Joe Biden stagflation. Now the reason because is that when the recession is there, every price goes for a toss. I will show you. Aluminium futures. What happened in 2020? They kind of crashed. Okay. What happened to the iron ores in 2020? They went from top to very low level. 2020. What happened to the natural gas in 2008-9 when subprime crisis happened? They fell like anything. Okay. If I show you what happens to the crude oil during this is monthly chart. If I go to the monthly chart, so during the recession, the price dropped. The price dropped. So recession is associated with drop of price. So when prices drop, what does the central banks do? They reduce the interest rate and they pump in liquidity. But if there is a recession and at the same time there are such high prices, what will the central bank do? What do you think? If there is a recession, central bank, instead of what central bank does in a recession, normal recession, that is lowering interest rate and pumping liquidity. Right now, prices are rising because of supply disruption, not due to high demand. So the central banks are taking away the liquidity they have given, raising interest rate. These high prices are not due to high demand. These high prices are only due to supply disruption. A little bit of economic things, but I hope you are enjoying the concept, that you are understanding, because in every recession you can see prices dropping, but this time this is recession due to supply disruption, and central bank are not having any way to pump in liquidity. So this recession won't go away very easily. This is a bad kind of recession. Only if the war is resolved, this recession can go away. Otherwise, this recession that is right now we are going to plunge into won't go away. So in that scenario, what I personally feel, again, my personal view, that we may fall towards this 11,000-12,000 over a period of time. First, we will look obviously at 14,300-400. Once 15,700 is broken, then maybe 13,000, and then maybe this 11,600-700 we may see if the war persists. Again, I am saying if the war is there. If the war is not there, it won't be. If the war is there, I seriously feel that, and if you follow me in the club, the stock ideas, you will see I am only giving short ideas. See, I am on this Gujarat gas, I gave long ideas, but every time I am posting is short ideas. See, I am posting short ideas. Short ideas. Bajaj Finance short. Hindalco short. Delta Corp short. Canada Bank short. Birlasoft short. Bajaj Finance. Again, I told that it once it be beaten, it will be short, and I posted later also. Amara Raja Battery short. Alchem Laboratory short. ABFRL short. Aarti Industry short. So I am only giving short ideas, right? Hello. So everywhere, if I am posting posting this short, because I am very bearish on the market, and I am of the opinion that this will soon be broken. See, this area of 15,500 will possibly soon be broken and will slide lower. For Bank Nifty, this level is approximately 32,000. Once this is broken, we can see serious fall. Okay. Now, one important thing, let us not become very much bearish at this, like the way, because when I am giving any trade to my people, my students in TMP, or I am mentioning in this, I am mentioning about the probable stop loss. See, I am mentioning about the probable stop loss. It maintains below 780. If you see, that time price was 770. Now let us see what Aarti Drugs did after that. Okay, so I'm going to the daily chart. So Aarti Drugs, Aarti Industries, if I am talking about, so from 770, it went to 725 after I posted. So I'm every time mentioning a stop loss. So if you don't trade with the stop loss on the downside, then you will be killed. Because what I am giving with a view with the stop loss, but market can turn bullish also for some reason. I may be wrong also, and that is why every post I am giving, I am having an approximate stop loss. Okay, in this StockEdge. I'm giving it to TMP on the real time basis and here also. Okay, so these are our flagship products. One is the StockEdge Social, and TMP. I teach them also personally, give them a respond if they ask a question. Okay, as I was telling, see, oil prices are rising like this, and possibly we may see 113, 14 again. Now let me come to this chart once again, and I'm again going to the weekly chart. Okay, now one thing I wanted to show you, this is a Dow Jones future. Okay, so Dow Jones future I want to show you. Okay, so I'm showing this. See, Dow Jones future, just give me a second, because I have made a drawing. I want to find that. Okay, I want to see where I made this drawing. Yes, here is the drawing I have made. Now, see, Dow Jones future right now is near 32,000. For all this down move that I expect of almost 14% to happen, this has to sustain below 32,000, close below 32,000. Okay, so if I go to the cnbc.com, for everything to remain bearish, if I go here, this has to sustain. Now it is 32,000. This has to sustain below 32,000. If it does not sustain below 32,000, trust me, market may see a strong pullback in medium term towards 16,500. Okay, so we cannot be blindly bearish. Okay, we have to know the levels. If 32,000 it sustains below 32,000, then only I am this much bearish. Okay, and one more thing that I want to show you is the DXY chart. Okay, DXY chart. See, this is the, again I'm going to the monthly chart. This has firmly broken this 104 and now moving higher. So what I personally expect is that market can really move up in a very strong, that means DXY can move up towards 106 There is 100 at 6. There is a small resistance due to this. This was the top of 1990, 106, 107. And once this crosses 106, 107, we will be in a very bad situation. We will see the global market falling sharply. See, right now there are the only some people making noise about the, just a second, some people are making noise about recession. People like me, okay. But whether there will be a recession or not, that will be known only at the end of the second quarter, that is June. That is, so right now it seems there will be recession. Right now it seems that dollar index is moving higher, and that's why I'm having a bearish, overall bearish thought in my mind. Last thing that I want to tell you, see, I have designed a chart. Okay, look at this. I have designed a chart. This chart is dollar index versus, you can look at it in 15 minutes also. So this is the dollar index on the lower, and this is the uh, SGS Nifty here. So if you go to my Twitter profile and just scroll down, you will get to this chart. I have shared the link. So you can copy this link and paste in your browser and work, because in shorter term, I am telling you, I am giving trades just based on this, because this is working very well. How you see, the moment the dollar index had a little bit of pullback, Nifty had a run. Again, the moment dollar index started going up, see, Nifty had a fall. See, dollar index went up, Nifty had a fall. So in 15-minute chart, this is working like butter. मतलब बोलते हैं ना, मक्खन की तरह वर्क कर रहा है. See, dollar index moving up, coming down. Again, dollar index falling a little, Nifty moving up. So this is working very beautifully. I have prepared this chart. What I can do is that I can also add possibly Bank Nifty into it. So if I add Bank Nifty also, so you can see that Bank Nifty, because Bank Nifty futures are not traded like SGX Nifty, you can see it is a bit discontinuity. So let us hide it. So what I have given here is that this one and two more, that is gold. So you can see gold is also having a very, that kind of a relation. It is going up, gold is falling. Right now the relationship is there. It is not that always it will be. So go to this this uh, uh, this link, copy this link, okay. And for club members, I have posted in club only. So I have already posted this in the club only. I will show you where I have posted this. See, this is here. I have already posted for club members. Those who are not in the club can go here and copy this. This is working. Now, my part is finished. Oil is bullish. And see, in spite of this bullishness, last thing I would like to show. Okay. Investing.com. Okay. Yeah. So going to index futures. See, Dow futures are so bullish right now. Were so bullish. Yes, 32,019, about 32,000 right now. In spite of that, see, our futures are even lower than where we close. We close at around 778. We are still lower. So our market is pretty bearish. But if all the global markets remain bullish, then we may have to pull back. That is, now this is the thing that I wanted to show. I am at the fag end of it. I have not taken any question, as this session is not for any question and answer. So my point here is that if you are in a club or in the TNP, you can ask question there, we will answer. Or in the social media, if you have a question, you can tag, we will try to answer. But this session is very less time and we don't have that much time. Now I'm going to invite a very special person whose name is Abhijit Paul. And I have heard a thing that he says to students is that डर के आगे डर के आगे अभिजीत है ना, डर के आगे जीत है, लोग बोलते हैं ना, डर के आगे जीत है, तो डर के आगे अभिजीत. So right now the fear factor in market is very high, and it is no better time that we can uh, really hear from the expert himself, that is Abhijit sir. डर के आगे अभिजीत. All yours, sir. Can you hear me? Very
Yes,
warm
sure.
welcome, sir.
Clearly.
All yours. Please take over.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope others, you can hear me clearly. I should be audible to you. Thanks a lot, team of Elearnmarkets and StockEdge, for giving me this opportunity to interact with everyone and share my views, honest views about the markets. Of course, these are not good times. These are not pleasant times. I talk straight, so bear with me, okay? Try to understand something. Every expert has his or her view. Everyone tries and attempts to trade, invest, and try to beat inflation over the longer span of time. Having said this, there is one truth, universal truth, that we all have to deal with. That is, markets' nature changes. The behavior of the market, and when I say the behavior of the market, I mean price movements. There are two very important parameters which defines any market. That is the trend and the volatility. And so, no matter at whatever stage you are a newcomer or an experienced trader or an investor, or you've done 20 different courses with 20 different mentors, it does not matter. The market looks at everyone in the same paradigm. And I would suggest that keep in mind 6 important different stages of the market. And these 6 different important stages of the market are: you are in an uptrend and the market is, let's say, low volatile or steady. Should I say low volatile? Low vol. It's a typical steady up move where all the fundamental parameters are fine. Companies' quarterly results are more or less in line with expectations. One sector is picking up, the other sector is picking up when the leader slows down. So very slow, steady uptrend. Then there are such stages where the market is in an uptrend, but the volatility is high. This is typically seen when the market tries to top out. The volatility picks up, choppiness picks up, but the trend is still up. Similarly, you can get a downtrend with low volatility. ये बहुत कम दिखता है. This you don't get so often. You do tend to see this in stocks, जो धीरे धीरे गिरते ही जा रहे हैं. वो थोड़ा सा भी ऊपर आता है तो उसमें सेलिंग आ जाता है. What you get to see in downtrends are downtrends with high volatility. This is very, very realistic. जिस दायरे से आप और मैं आज गुजर रहे वो ये है. It's in a downtrend and it's highly volatile. एक चीज याद रखिए, downtrends are most of the time more volatile than uptrends. इसका लॉजिक मैं आपको थोड़े बाद समझाता हूँ. And the remaining two are flat trends. कहीं जा ही नहीं रहा है. It's a flat, non-directional with low volatility. ये कब होता है? I'll show you charts and explain this. ये तब होता है जब the market is completely boring. ये आपको stocks में भी दिखता है, especially you'll see in mid and small caps. For 3 months the stock is consolidating, all of a sudden a big breakout, फिर जाके फिर से सो जाता है, hibernate करता है, कुंभकर्ण के जैसे. Flat, low volatile generally leads to breakout, and then there are flat with high volatility, मतलब उसका range बहुत ज्यादा है. A typical low volatile uptrend chart ऐसे दिखेगा, धीरे 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 ऊपर जाता है. A typical uptrend with high volatility ऐसे दिखता है, वो जा तो ऊपर रहा है लेकिन the volatility when it retraces, the retracements are deep. This is a different nature stock. Low volatile धीरे 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 नीचे जा रहा है, high volatile ऊपर में spikes मारता है, goes up, जिसको हम लोग we call them dead cat bounces and it falls. This is a high volatile. Flat low volatile एक range के अंदर रहता है and the size of the bars are very very small. Those who understand Bollinger Band squeeze concepts, ये सब यहाँ पे. And then there's high volatile range when it is range bound, but जो range है उसका high and low, this high and low difference, this is quite a bit in terms of percentage. So trading के लिए बेहतरीन है. Now, you open any chart of any asset class on any time frame, you will be able to define that chart in either of these 6 stages or state, whatever name you want to give it, you can name it states of the market, different state. अब जैसा पिच रहेगा वैसा ही बैटिंग करना है ना. So different stages of the market, ये different stages of the market are triggered by different events. ज़्यादातर time पे the market makes a move before the event, but what we are dealing with today, I would say, lies in this category. It's a downtrending market with high volatility, and it has some serious macroeconomic parameters, which is overhang. There is inflation, there is a war which is going on, and which is directly impacting the supply of crude. So the price of crude is getting affected. If the price of crude gets affected, then the price of everything gets affected. That's why it's a inflationary market. There is inflation from other point of view also. I'll show you some charts to explain this concept. There was recently the bond yield reversion on the 2-year and 10-year US bond yields. But मैं ज़्यादा intellectual बनने का कोशिश नहीं करूँगा. What I'm trying to share with you is ये जो correction है, this correction that we are going through right now, इस correction के पीछे जो reason कारण है, whatever is the reason, is not a overnight coronavirus. Is this time it's more structural correction. The reasons are macroeconomic parameters. इसमें एक चीज I would say जो beneficial हो सकता है, the Ukraine-Russia war that we are going through, that we are dealing with, that the entire globe is dealing with, this can be switched off very quickly. The repercussions might take some time, but all of a sudden tomorrow morning, if you wake up and you see that someone has decided, okay, no, that's it, then all of a sudden the market will start to cheer and you will see a very strong recovery and etc. 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 So this correction that we are going through has the war as a reason. The repercussions of the war are trickling down, ripple effect over crude, inflation. I'll talk about inflation a little deeper with some charts. Because war के पहले भी inflation trickle in हो गया था. We have to talk about quantitative easing. ये जो steroid जैसा injection quantitative easing 2008 में हुआ था and 2020 में March में हुआ था. This had an inflationary effect. And the Fed is slowly taking that money back. बहुत चालाकी से वो धीरे धीरे हर महीने billions of dollars वापस ले रहे हैं. So I'll share some concept about this. Bottom line, it's a structural correction. The good thing is the war, all wars end. It's not that it will go on for 10 years. It will not go on for 5 years. It's very unlikely that it will go on for a significant span of time. The thing is, other countries are not directly or sharing their thoughts in it. So it is something that is happening, and let's देख के ऐसा लग रहा है that the world is letting it happen. ठीक है, इसको हो जाने दो, इसको unfold हो जाने दो, right? So जब ये हो जाएगा, it can happen overnight. Then all of a sudden, all the bearishness will tend, will give a V-shaped recovery. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. So ये चीज को ध्यान रखिए that you need to understand बाजार किस दायरे से गुजर रहा है. What is the state of the market? Why am I telling you this? Because if you're listening to me today evening, you have some interest in the stock market, either academic interest, or you are a newcomer and you want to become a trader, or you are there for the last 2-3 years, pandemic के lockdown के time पे आपने market में entry लिया, or you have like 5-10 years of experience and आपने घाट-घाट का पानी पी चुके. Whatever be it, you cannot hide from the fact that market dynamics changes, and बाजार के साथ आपको भी evolve या change होना पड़ेगा. When I say आपको, when I say you have to evolve or change, I don't mean that you have to literally technically change. What I mean is your expectation, your anticipation, your greed, your requirement from the market also needs to change. You take a look at any decent sized hedge fund. You take a look at any decent sized म्यूचुअल फंड, एंड आप अगर उनका लास्ट कुछ सालों का मंथ बाय मंथ ब्रेकअप देखेंगे, परसेंटेज रिटर्न्स, क्या आपको हमेशा पॉजिटिव दिखेगा? Will you see all the last few months were all negative? No. Then end of the year you get a CAGR, you get an average out of 10%, 15%, 17%, -%, whatever it is. So what I am trying to tell you before I even show you any charts or whatsoever and share my views, whether I'm bullish or bearish or neutral, what I'm trying to tell you is try to understand the nature of the chart. Try to understand the nature of the market, and accordingly tell yourself, okay, the market is in a downtrend, volatile. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब है that अभी वो वैसे दिन नहीं है कि मैं आज लूंगा 3 दिन बाद बेच दूंगा और I will get returns. वो ऐसे दिन थे, ऐसे दिन थे. This was the stage of the market which is a steady uptrend, low volatile uptrend. आप कोई भी करेक्शन में लो, you buy in any short term correction, 3 दिन 4 दिन बाद आपको ऊपर के भाव मिलता. This is not that market. You don't need me to explain this to you. If you're serious about the market, you will understand this. So बाजार का dynamics change हो चुका है, तो आपको भी उस तरीके से खुद को, at whatever degree you are a trader or an investor, you have to change yourself. If you listen to me, if you listen to Souradeep, if you listen to Vivek, if you listen to 20 different people, they will all share their own beliefs. We will all share our own beliefs or our own thoughts, anticipations. It has no value. It has zero value. इतना तो मैंने 2008 में समझ लिया. When 2008 happened and when I was looking through and trading through that, not trading exactly, recommending through that bear market, I understood market does not care about what you think, what you anticipate, how much money you bring in as capital, how much money you want to make, what kind of software you use, what kind of a mentor you have, what kind of books you read. It does not care. It will do what it has to do. You have to understand what the market is doing and you have to adjust yours. आपको बाजार के मूवमेंट के साथ खुद को ढालना पड़ेगा. You have to mold yourself accordingly. So, having said this, I will like to share with you few structural things. As I said, I don't want to sound too technical or I don't want to sound too intellectual also. But मैंने कुछ words use किए. मैंने बताया कि US inflation या फिर US. So US से start करते हैं. On US Ukraine Russia war बाद में है. The important thing that is important to see, the important thing which is crucial to see is this happened long time back. This is your US inflation rate, which is right now as we speak at 8.3 at a 40-year high. And आज जाके हमारे media and newspapers हमारे inflation के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. But if you look at it, it was almost zero, and this was May 2020. And now it is at 8.3%. See, it had quantitative easing in 2008 and 2020 coronavirus, which brings a lot of liquidity into the system. It's like a steroid. आपका तबीयत बहुत खराब है, एंटीबायोटिक से काम नहीं चल रहा है, आपको एक स्टेरॉइड का इंजेक्शन चाहिए बचाने के लिए. So वैसा दो steroids 2020 और 2008 में सिस्टम में दिया गया, which is essentially nothing but senseless printing of money. What does that lead to? A lot of money into the system. So it will have a demand push. जब demand push होगा, अचानक से अगर supply crunch आ जाता है, you know what will happen, right? And that's exactly what is happening there. Inflation is at high. You talk to anyone, if you have friends or family in US, they will all tell you that the housing market has gone berserk. It's gone crazy. The per gallon gas that they're buying from the station is now expensive. They buy also water, right? Many people don't even drink water. They drink a lot of Dr. Pepper and all those stuff. Everything has gone expensive. Now, yield reversion is also a very, very important thing that we should keep in mind. I'm looking at the 2-year and the 10-year US yield curves. And ये जब inverse होता है, ये momentarily यहाँ पे recently inverse हुआ था, but still even now the 10-year जो कि red में है and the 2-year which is orange में, it's still not reversed yet completely, inversed yet. इसका मतलब क्या है? Let's try and talk about this in layman's language. This is 2 years rate of yield curve. मतलब मैं अगर US गवर्नमेंट को पैसा देता हूँ, वो मुझे कितना देगा 2 साल के लिए मैं अगर उसको देता हूँ, और वो मुझे कितना देगा अगर मैं उसको 10 साल के लिए देता हूँ. So जब 2 साल का yield 10 साल के yield से ऊपर निकल जाता है, it means that मुझे US गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर शॉर्ट टर्म में कुछ means security दिखता है, but long term my picture is not so clear. In the long term I'm not so confident about where I'm putting my money. Short term में ठीक है. So these kind of things, this 2-year yield curve picking up towards 10 years started to happen around mid 21. So you're talking about the Ukraine war, which has happened recently, just a few months back, but macroeconomic parameters had started to deteriorate long before that. आप इसके साथ अगर S&P 500 का तुलना करेंगे, if you compare, आपको दिखेगा that most of the time जब recession होता है, जब yield curve reversion होता है, they use the word recession. और जब तक recession word print में आना चालू हो जाएगा न्यूज़पेपर में, तब तक आराम से 20% correction from the top तो हो ही जाएगा easily. ये जहां पे मैंने arrow रखा है, this is the 2008 correction. This is I think the 2020 top. अच्छा, by the way, हमेशा inverse होना ही मतलब हमेशा मार्केट गिरेगा ऐसा नहीं है. Okay, don't look at the past and try to predict the future. Exactly it will happen. No, because what was the situation then and what is the situation now is very, very different. It can be better or it can be worse. So गिर भी सकता है, नहीं भी गिर सकता, और जरूरत से ज्यादा भी गिर सकता है. So the past just gives us an understanding of how the dynamics work. We have to prepare ourselves accordingly for the future. But if you look at other features of the US market, if you come to tradingeconomics.com, you come to United States, and there are various macroeconomic parameters here. If you take a look at, I think there's something called money supply, or you can take a look at GDP growth rate, GDP annual growth rate. Let me try and find out what I want to show you. If you take a look at the GDP to their debt, I don't know exactly where it is, you will be surprised to see that they are so badly, the debt is so bad right now. It's at all-time highs. Government debt to GDP, yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Government debt to GDP since I think ये कुछ 1930s 40s जाता है, it's at alarming levels. तो वो क्या करेगा? What will the US government do? And that's exactly what it is doing. उसको liquidity वापस लेना है ना. बाजार में अगर पैसा freely move कर रहा है, there's lot of liquidity, उसको वापस उसको system में लेना है, rate of interest बढ़ा दो. इसीलिए जब सौरदीप ने आपको DXY, उसको हम लोग डिक्सी बुलाते थे. In my days when I used to, work with the institutions, we used to call it Dxy का क्या value चल रहा है, DXY. So that's why you see that spike in Dxy. Because now the government bonds are, the US government bonds are looking attractive. Money chases money. जहाँ पे उसको security दिखता है, वो क्यों कहीं पे वियतनाम, इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, इंडिया इक्विटी में जाएगा? अगर उसको वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट इकोनॉमी के गवर्नमेंट में अच्छा रिटर्न दिख रहा है, सेफ रिटर्न दिख रहा है, डाल दो वहां पे पैसे. And that's why rising Dxy is bad for emerging markets like India, Brazil, and the others. Because money chases money, and that's exactly what you're seeing. That's exactly what, I don't know, FII selling, that's exactly what is happening. So there are structural damages, macroeconomic damages, which is happening, and this is the nature of the market. अगर आप बाजार में हो, you have to have that maturity to deal with it. आपको 2020 March 23rd लो से अगर recent high का returns में आपको दिखाऊं, if I show you the returns, then it will be on a low to high basis, 150% होगा, I think, what is it, 145%. ये आपको अच्छा लगेगा. Many of you, those who entered the market maybe during this time due to the lockdown, आपको एक अच्छा मौका मिला था मार्केट में एंट्री लेने का, ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट करने का, तो ये आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा. अगर ये आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा तो इससे गुजरना पड़ेगा. अब ये कितना जा सकता है? How bad can this get? I have stopped, personally I have stopped doing this guessing game. ठीक है? Because I have seen time and again, over and over again, that the market does what the market does best, and it does just the opposite of what the overall market expects. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा स्टोरी बताता हूँ. I'll just take 2 more minutes. It was an aha moment, or it was a realization for me. It was in around 2013. I was sitting in the CNBC studio over here in Calcutta after कुछ स्टॉक शो था, राइट? और मैंने आई थिंक एग्जैक्टली याद नहीं आ रहा है, बट जुबिलेंट या अदानी ऐसा कुछ होगा, उस स्टॉक पे मैंने एक लॉन्ग ट्रेड लिया था. सो दिस स्टॉक लुक्स गुड, इसके ऊपर खरीद सकते, ये टारगेट, ये स्टॉप लॉस, टिपिकल एडवाइस. The moment I said that, it was afternoon 2:15. The anchor was I think it was Lata and Sonia, and they said that, wow, such a good news, everyone who has come in our channel since morning, सब इस स्टॉक पे बुलिश है. मतलब उस दिन सुबह से उनके चैनल में जो भी अपने व्यूज शेयर किए थे, सब लोग उस स्टॉक पे बुलिश थे. And the moment she said that, I was sure, I was somewhere, I was certain, ये स्टॉक नहीं चलेगा. And नहीं चला. Next to next day वो नीचे आके स्टॉप लॉस हिट. And this is not just one experience or example. ऐसे काफी सारे, बहुत सारे stories है मेरे पास. Last 17-18 सालों में काफी सारे ऐसे experiences मैंने gather किए, which tells me that the market loves to do exactly the opposite of what the consensus is. When the market consensus is extremely bullish and it's like very, very strongly bullish, the market tends to do the opposite. Now, we are down 15.5% on a high to low basis. 15.5% is a very healthy correction. The uptrend in terms of price, and यहाँ पे मैं आपको निफ्टी, ये फ्यूचर्स का चार्ट है, मैं अगर कैश का चार्ट निकालता हूं तो आपको और थोड़ा सा ज्यादा डेटा दिखेगा. So there you go. This is the Nifty long-term chart, and it's in a very, very nice structural uptrend. इसमें कोई second thoughts नहीं है. It is just going through a healthy correction. These kind of corrections are healthy because जब तक वो नीचे नहीं आएगा वो newer high कैसे बनाए. अब नीचे जब आता है, prices becomes lower, valuations becomes not expensive, attractive. 99% of your institute, call it FII, most of the DII and few of the FII are all fundamental analysis driven. They all look at valuations and the company. They very few of them look at the charts. So जब उनके सिस्टम में वैल्यूएशन अट्रैक्टिव दिखना चालू हो जाएगा, वो तो पैसा डालना खरीदना चालू कर देंगे. And that's why no matter what kind of systems you create and you generate and you backtest and do Monte Carlo simulation and out of the sample in the sun, जो भी आप system develop करो, आपको हमेशा दिखेगा most of the time, at least मेरे experience से, long only systems in Indian markets gave better returns than long and short both. सोचो मैंने एक system बनाया, अगर उस system में सिर्फ buy trades लेते तो मेरा परसेंटेज क्या निकलता, और अगर बाय और शॉर्ट दोनों लेते तो उसका परसेंटेज क्या निकलता. माय पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस हैज शोन मी इन इंडियन मार्केट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अगर सिर्फ लॉन्ग ट्रेड पे फोकस करते तो ज्यादा रिटर्न. बिकॉज टेक अ लुक एट दिस, यू डोंट नीड मी टू टेल यू दिस. 1991 से डेटा है. आप निफ्टी के वेबसाइट में चले जाओ, 25 इयर्स जब वो सेलिब्रेट कर रहे थे, आई थिंक दे सेड सम व्हाट 15% CAGR year after year. That's a beautiful number, not bad. So if you're a long-term investor, if you have invested through mutual funds or stocks, good companies, they are all down. They will be all down. If you're invested in any kind of short-term debt fund or gilt fund, they will also be down. But you need to understand who you are, why have you invested, what is your time frame, what is your risk appetite. ये सब आपको खुद डिफाइन करना है, ना कि किसी एक्सपर्ट को पूछ के. बिकॉज व्हाट इज माय व्यू, उससे आपका, इफ आई से हाँ बाजार तो 13,000 आ ही सकता है, बट अगर 13,000 आते आते आपका पोर्टफोलियो 80% नीचे हो जाए, सो राइट, सो माय व्यू हैज नो वैल्यू unless you know what you want to do with your portfolio. So let me quickly share some inputs. I get a lot of, जब बाजार ऐसे गिरता है, कल ही मेरा एक स्टूडेंट ने मुझे कॉल किया था, and the first thing he said that sir, he is a Bengali guy, so वो मुझे बताया कि सर अपनी जाने ना मैं अपना के क्या फोन करेছি. This means that sir, you know why I have called you. And so I said yes, I get maximum calls in a bear market. In a bull market, कोई किसी को याद ही नहीं करता, because everyone is a hero in a bull market. And so let me share with you what I shared with him. Let's try and understand this. Number one, we are in a structural downtrend. The reasons of these structural downtrends are predominantly macroeconomic driven. Added the war, which has an effect through crude. Via crude, it is affecting the inflation and various other things. The war can end immediately. The war can all of a sudden get switched off. It can happen. It will happen eventually. The macroeconomic parameters, especially with the US markets, this will drag. ये इतना easily नहीं होने वाला. This may drag for the entire year. So उनके जो rate of interest rise है, it may continue for the rest of the year. अचानक से 2 हफ्ते पहले our RBI governor had come and raised the repo rate. It was maybe a surprise for you. आपको लगेगा ये surprise था. It's not a surprise. Honestly, it's not a surprise, because it's very evident. If you read any degree of economics, the simple monetary policy is raise the rate of interest, stuck in the liquidity. So what happens is when you keep on raising the interest rate 2-3 बार और just to make sure कि inflation और भागे ना, inflation control पे रहे, वो क्या करता है, equity cycle को slow down करता है, it slows down, and that you will see the numbers in the quarterly results, etc. etc. इसका मतलब क्या, it is going to drag. अगर अचानक से वॉर भी खत्म हो जाता है, it can give you a sharp move, crude can stabilize and एक माहौल मिल सकता है वहां पे जहां पे थोड़ा bullishness दिखेगा, but overall it can drag, it may drag. तो अपने आप को वैसे ही संभालिए. Number 1, if you are a short term trader, try to keep your trades as short term as necessary. I am not a big fan or I'm not very much into intraday trades, but believe me honestly, आज ही मैंने intraday किया था बैंक निफ्टी calls पे. मुझे लगता है कि बाजार ऐसे the kind of situations the state the market is, I'm better off करो यार, आज काम खत्म करो, कल का कल देखेंगे, ऐसा ही बाजार हो चुका है. You keep your trades very short term, or you keep your trades very long term, because you will find stocks like Reliance Industries. You'll find stocks like Reliance Industries, which has fallen significantly over the last couple of weeks. Infoline, if you drop from the recent high to the low, you will see a fall of 16%. A 16% fall in Reliance is attractive for an investor who wants to hold on to Reliance for 20 years or 30 years. A 16% fall is an opportunity. Recent fall ko dekhte. If you take a look at this fall, this was around 18%. If you take a look at this fall, this is around 14%. So you will get in the tune of 15-16%, then you will get in the tune of 30-35%. But these are all, having said, these are all opportunities. But bottom कहाँ पे है मुझे नहीं पता, I don't know, और मुझे जानना भी नहीं है. So either you be a short-term trader, then very short-term trader. If you understand options, you can do strategies. At least you're better off. क्योंकि इस बाजार में जब कुछ मिल ही नहीं रहा है और सब जगह पे लॉस हो रहा है, वहां पे अगर कुछ भी मिल जाए ऑप्शन से, बुल कॉल स्प्रेड कीजिए, बुल पुट स्प्रेड कीजिए, जो भी, इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दोस थिंग्स, देन डायरेक्शनल ना प्ले करके ऑप्शंस में प्ले कीजिए, और लॉन्ग टर्म, सुपर लॉन्ग टर्म प्ले कीजिए. What I do, I'll share with you. I am a big fan of ETFs. I know in Indian markets still it has not picked up as much as it should have. US market ETFs concepts are really good. If you're a retail trader, small trader, just a newbie, धीरे धीरे सीख रहे, capital छोटा है, and जिसका जब capital छोटा होता है ना, तब losses अच्छे नहीं लगते. In fact, losses कभी भी अच्छे नहीं लगते. But when we have a small capital, when we start with a small capital, होने को ज्यादा नहीं है, right? So start investing in the index investments. Start buying the ETFs of the Nifty, the Bank Nifty. आज के तारीख में there are so many thematic ETFs also. You can do pharma, you can do NetFit, you can do Nasdaq 100, you can do silver, you can do gold. So stock chase ना करके, stock का bottom, market का bottom, कब बनेगा bottom, वो सब ना करके, buy the ETFs. You will be far better off. Trust me, is this evening, if I have to tell you one thing, if you take away from me, and I know what I'm saying because in my program, in my community of mentorship, I share the last few years and it always works. In the fall, in this kind of corrections, please invest in index. When the market improves, when the market trend improves, when the war finishes, when the inflation is stable, आपको फिर से वापस in the future you will find yourself in a steady uptrend. होना ही है, it has to happen. तब आप थोड़ा aggressive होइए, तब वो पिच अच्छा है बैटिंग करने के, तब आप स्टॉक पोर्टफोलियो पे ध्यान दें. आज भी दे सकते हो, but understand the market and listen to yourself. सबका सुनिए but खुद का कीजिए, right? So don't want to talk too much about this. I think that's what I thought I'll share with you. This was the first time I had joined you over this this weekly talks about the market. And yes, I was just given, I think, half an hour's time to share my thoughts. I talk straight, so you may not have liked it. If you have, do let me know your thoughts. And I think I'll end here. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on the internet, and you can share your thoughts. Just don't ask me about stocks. Sir, मैंने ये stock लिया था, ये नीचे हो गया, अब क्या करूं? Right? If you have taken any trainings from me, then you will never ever fall in this trap. कभी भी नहीं होगा आपके साथ कि portfolio loss में है, अभी क्या करना है? Should never happen. All right. So this is where I say good night to everyone. Take care of yourselves. I request the coordinators to take it over from here. Thank you.